Guys, I got it in. I'm gonna go test it out. I already did some testing. Let me tell them this first. I already did some testing. It shifts so good with this. I did put the switch up here to switch it back and forth from the ECM, but it shifts so good with this. I think I'm just gonna do away with that completely and just put the torque converter right there. I know I said I wasn't gonna do that in the beginning, but I also told y'all that the airbag module was the TCM, so it is what it is. But we're just gonna put the torque converter up there. I know that's an ugly switch. I got to get one that matches this one, but this is an on-off on that I put for the TCM. That's the rail shifter, TCM. But you know how these things shift like lazy? With this, it doesn't do that because TCM's not regulating pressures and reading the speed sensor in the transmission and doing all that crap, the TPS and all that it does. And it's just a positive shift when you shift it. It's going to take some getting used to shifting this thing. It's kind of low down in there, but when you got your hand on it, you know, it's just like that. It ain't too bad. But it shifts good with this. What we're going to do is we're going to go drive it down the road, then we're going to go down to a dirt road somewhere and put it in 4 low and see if it stays in first gear. I know it will, but I want to try it.
Just the shifter.
Oh, it's something else too. If you do this, you got to be careful. I mean, I know nobody's going to put their shit in reverse, but it will going down the highway if you was to hit it. That's the only thing with this. But for the trails, what I do with this Jeep, it'll be perfect. And I've decided against the overdrive crap because it just shifts so good with this. have to pull it all the way down to first to get first. You don't. You got first right here. There's no reason to ever pull it down right there. So you got your first and first gear, or wherever you got this set is where this is going to be in drive. So we could actually put it up in second gear at a mud hole, hold it up there and stall it in second, and then pull it down in first and ram it. It ought to be fun on the trails. What I ended up doing to wire it up, you remember how I said the instructions were kind of wonky on it for the wiring? They're not. The guy that created this thing probably knew that those diagrams, and most diagrams that I could find online were not mine. They were different. Even the one I found that was closest to mine was different when it comes to the actual wire colors and stuff. So the best way to do it is follow the instructions. Find the 3 wires for the solenoids on your TCM and test them the way that the Rad Design guy says to do it. Now, if somebody that doesn't do electronics like I do, I think it would be easier for them to hook this up. See, I was hunting wire diagrams and schematics to see how it worked and all that. It ain't relevant with this because the Jeep's plugs are all different. This has got a gray plug on it on the TCM. The only ones that's listed are black and green. I never could find a gray one, and I was told by some people that know that being mine's a 98, you know, all that shit's gonna be it's just different on them for some reason. But if you find your 3 wires for your first, second, and the torque converter lockup, follow the instructions to the T, and it'll come out good for you. If you try to do it how I did it, it's gonna be a headache trying to find the wire colors and the pin numbers and all that stuff. The pin numbers did not work out for me. But if you go on Rad Design's website, they got a tech support part of it. You go down and look, and it tells you what color wires it is for OB1, which would be the older Jeeps, and OB2, which is what this is, that color. And it's going to be close to that, but even on that, my wires were reversed. My first and second solenoid wasn't first and second color wise. I had to flop them to get it to work right. Now if you mess up on the 1-2 wiring, on the 1-2 solenoids, it'll shift funny. It'll still work, but it'll shift, like first will be up here where second's at. And you know, and that'll be drive if you hook it up backwards. But once you get it right, it's right. The guy who invented this is a freaking genius, that's for sure. It's basically a lockout box for an AW4 that he's created here, and he did a damn good job on it too. I mean, I'm happy with it. It's going to be nice to be able to just pull it back into first and go to reverse in the woods, because you know we do that all the time, and it's just bam bam, it's there. The only thing is, if it's a daily driver, you know, you could put it in reverse going down the highway if you wasn't paying attention to what you was doing. So, you know, if you do this, you know, drive it some, get used to it before you, and see what it does. But I could see where you could do that. It's not locked out, which is why the stock one has the button on it. You know, this is a trail Jeep. And as far as using the TCM, I didn't mention this when we was driving it, but as far as using the TCM down, that was my TCM, and that was the rail shifter. I'm just going to do away with this and put torque converter up here. I can regulate it myself, and when I'm pulling the trailer, I probably won't even use overdrive anyway. I didn't think about all that when I was talking, you know, to y'all before, but it shifts so damn good with that you don't even want the TCM. TCM's unplugged on mine right now. So if you do an AW4 swap, this is definitely the way to go. You can wire it right in. But don't do like I did and make a dumbass video trying to wire up the airbag with it. And, you know, follow the directions and it'll work. I mean, I totally screwed this up from the get-go, and it wasn't nobody's fault but mine, because I didn't follow the freaking directions. And on some of this, you know, I'm like, well, I can figure this out. I'll find the pin numbers and the wires and blah, blah, blah. But the guy that invented this knew that was going to be trouble. So he just said, find the 3 wires. It gives you a basic color reading. Test them with voltage to see which one's doing what, and then hook your wiring up, and it bitch will work. And it's nice. It is kind of low down in there. That's the top of my thing, top of my console. But we may build a stand under it and lift it up higher eventually. Get it up about right here. Get the bottom of this plate up level with this, and it would be great. And but this is a trail Jeep, you know. It's not really comfort thing, you know. It's, I go in the woods with it, and that's about all I do with it. But I'm very happy with it. It was a challenge for me trying to do it my way instead of his way. But his way is the way to do it. That's what I ended up having to do, was just test them, see which one was doing what. And on this one, the orange wire is first gear solenoid, and the white wire is second gear solenoid, and my blue and white was the torque converter lockup. So this one, the schematics online are garbage. The wiring diagrams online are garbage, because I was looking at them thinking that the solenoids were powered all the time, which they may be in the transmission, but see, the body's different in the transmission, how it works. Just, if you get this, just follow the directions to the T, and it'll come out good, and you won't have half the headaches I do. And once again, that's the airbag module. If you hook power to that, it's going to blow the airbags out in your face. Yeah, I felt like a real dummy when I did that, but I wasn't taking the video down, because that's real stuff. That's how shit goes. She's all dirty. It will stay in first gear. I just ran it up to about 5,200, and it never shifted. So maybe it will raise Cain in the mud holes. But this is not a bad deal, guys. It ain't hard to install. I just made it hard on myself, trying to do it my way. And I'm sorry for the confusion on the airbag thing. And like I said before, I just jump out of my van in the evenings. I turn the camera on and I go at it. You know, I don't have a lot of time to do a lot of research, because most times I can figure it out. But this here is best served by following directions to the T. Test the voltages, test your solenoid, see which ones you got, and hook it up, and that's all there is to it. And as far as running the TCM2, it ain't worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the lazy shifts, because once you shift with this, you're gonna be spoiled to it, and you're not gonna want it to shift by the computer. Anyway, I guess that's it, guys. I mean, there's nothing left to say about it. Turned out good, and maybe we'll go trail riding this evening and make a trail riding video. But one more thing accomplished on the old girl. I need to name this Jeep. She don't have no name. Maybe y'all can help me out with a name for her. She's tough. She's a big girl. I like big girls. She's thick. Let me know what you think. And don't say POS, because I don't want to call it a POS. Not today, anyway. Guys, bring me that 5.3 I told y'all I got. He's bringing it here in a few minutes. That'll be next winter's project. We're going to build that 5.3 and get it beefed up. And after we get the 4-link and all in there, maybe after the summer, we'll start doing a V8 swap on this thing. See if it'll raise held in. You know what that's going to entail, don't you? V8 swap, transmission, probably a turbo 400 or 350, and then it's going to break the rear end, and we have to put a 1-ton rear end under, and then it's going to break the front. Remember how I said 2 months ago that we're about out of stuff to do to this thing? That's what us Jeep guys do. If it's all working good, why not fuck it up and put a V8 in there where it'll break everything under it, and then you got to do it all over again. But that's the fun of it, man. I want to go out there and dominate in those mud holes and stick with a 38.5 1100 bogger, a little small, skinny, lightweight bogger, something that I can really get turning in first and second gear. But I guess, guys, y'all take it easy. It's Sunday. It's about 70 degrees here in Florida. It feels nice. I think I'm gonna go and after the guy leaves with the V8 and Luke Burns is coming over to cut some brackets out for that big TJ, we might go trail riding this evening for a little while. Y'all have a good one, guys, and take it easy, and we'll talk at you later. Bye.